Most people misunderstand what happens to their mind in luxury hotels. They assume it's rest, or comfort, or the absence of responsibility. That explanation is convenient and incorrect. The mind doesn't quiet down in hotels because it feels good. It quiets down because specific cognitive systems are taken offline. Luxury hotels are engineered to eliminate the need for mental effort, not emotionally, but structurally. They close loops the brain would otherwise keep open. They narrow attention so it has nowhere to roam. They signal very clearly that vigilance is unnecessary. This is not hospitality, it's applied psychology, and it explains something important: why thinking fades in hotels, and why most homes, without realizing it, keep the mind working. Today, I want to show you the mechanisms behind that silence. Mechanisms most people never see, and almost no homes intentionally use. The first mechanism is subtle but powerful. Luxury hotels are final environments. Nothing feels provisional, nothing feels temporary, nothing feels unfinished. At home, your brain is constantly encountering objects that suggest improvement, future action, adjustment, potential change. Even clean homes are full of latent tasks. Hotels remove this entirely. Furniture placement feels resolved. Surfaces feel complete. Objects appear as if no further decision will ever be made about them. Psychologically, this matters because the brain is highly sensitive to unfinished systems. Unfinished systems trigger background monitoring, future planning, low-grade problem solving. Final systems shut those processes down. This is why your mind quiets in hotels, not because you're calm, but because nothing is waiting on you. Look for places in your home that feel temporary by default: stacks, placeholders, for now arrangements. These don't feel neutral to the brain. They signal work pending. Luxury is when the environment communicates, "This is done." Rumination requires broad attention. When the mind is allowed to wander freely, it revisits problems, worries, and unresolved narratives. Luxury hotels quietly do the opposite. They narrow attention. Notice how hotel environments limit visual depth, reduce competing focal points, simplify spatial choices, guide the eye gently, not forcefully. This creates what psychologists call attentional containment. Your attention doesn't roam, it rests. And when attention rests, rumination collapses. Most homes accidentally do the opposite. Open sightlines, multiple unfinished zones, objects competing for meaning. This encourages the mind to scan, and scanning is where rumination thrives. Hotels design environments where nothing asks for interpretation. You don't need fewer objects. You need fewer interpretive demands. When a space requires explanation, why is this here? What is this for now? What does this represent? The mind stays active. Luxury reduces interpretation. This is one of the least discussed mechanisms in design psychology. Your brain is constantly asking, is there anything here that could go wrong? Most environments unintentionally keep that question alive. Hotels don't. Luxury hotels are engineered to signal threat irrelevance. This does not mean safety alone, it means irrelevance of vigilance. How this is done? No exposed systems, no visible maintenance, no signs of fragility, no evidence of past problems. Even imperfections are hidden. Why this matters? When the environment shows signs of fragility, the brain stays alert. When the environment appears self-sustaining, vigilance drops. This is why luxury hotels feel effortless. Your nervous system receives the message, nothing here needs monitoring. Homes often leak the opposite signal. Visible repairs, exposed systems, reminders of wear, objects that look like they could fail. This keeps the brain quietly on guard. Luxury is not perfection. Luxury is not seeing what could break. The more a space displays its vulnerability, the more your mind stays involved. There's a reason hotel corridors feel strangely calming. They are transitional spaces with no identity demand. You are not meant to decide, evaluate, personalize, linger. Corridors reduce self-reference, and when self-reference drops, problem thinking loses fuel. Homes often eliminate true transitions. Rooms bleed into each other. Functions overlap. Roles collide. Hotels protect transitions. They give the mind moments where nothing is expected of it. This matters more than most people realize. Here's the proof that this is not about vacation. People experience the same mental quiet on business trips, during short hotel stays, even in hotel lobbies alone. The mechanism works because it's environmental, not emotional. Hotels do not make you happy. They make thinking unnecessary. That's the difference. Luxury hotels don't silence your mind by distracting it. They silence it by removing the reasons it needs to stay active. Final environments, narrowed attention, threat irrelevance, protected transitions. Most homes unintentionally keep the mind working. Not because they're bad, but because they were never designed to carry psychological load. Luxury, at its highest level, is an environment that lets the mind stand down. If this gave you language for something you've always felt, don't just like it, save it. That tells us it mattered.